Hey everybody, this is Drone and Joe here with the follow-up video to my DJI MAVIC unboxing. I wanted to go through the initial setup and give you an idea of some of the issues that I ran into and possibly some pitfalls that you can avoid going forward. So there's a couple things I wanted to go through, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we'll start with the good, which is the product. It's great. I've enjoyed it. I've had a good time with it setting it up last night. I've only had limited chances to fly it because out here in Los Angeles, it's been raining the last few days and it's expected to continue. So I'm still stuck indoors, but very excited to get this thing out and in the air. But like I said, we just want to start with the product, what we have here, and I want to start with the remote. So with the remote, it was a little nerve-wracking with the initial unboxing because when you start to unfold things, there's these antennas at the top here with this little clip right there. When you first break off that little clip, I shouldn't use the word break off, but when you first take off the little clip to do this, it kind of sticks here and it made me nervous because they feel a little bit fragile and I didn't want to break anything. But what you don't see is that there's these little tabs here that clip into each other that hold them in place. Now, what I can say is that when you are taking these out, it's easier just to fold it forward towards you and then up than it is to go up and then turn it. See, it's a little awkward. So that was the first issue I ran into with the antenna, was that made me a little nervous when I was basically disengaging them, or whatever you want to call that. The next thing though is this, a little grippy. So this is where your phone goes, which is really cool because it actually has rubberized grips in here that hold it in place. And then also, in case if you don't have an iPhone, they give you, what I found out, were these extra cords that you can change out the adapter here to accommodate for your phone. So it doesn't have to just be an iPhone. What was really interesting is they actually have these little slider things here so the cord stays in place, but it still is able to rotate and move with the phone. My only fear of this, where it plugs into your phone, was that I felt that it kind of pulled on the port on my phone, and I fear that it might break off or cause damage on my phone. So that's something that I'm going to be very mindful of going forward, and maybe that's just me being paranoid, but I thought it was a little bit rough and a little hard on that. But one of the interesting things I found about this is that there is one port to charge it, and then there's this random USB here. I looked and I looked and I couldn't figure out what this thing does, so I'm gonna have to follow up on that. But what I can say is the remote, once you have the phone in it, it feels very nice in your hands, almost like an original Xbox controller, the big black thing that was like this big. It's very comfortable, almost like a PlayStation controller, in that there's R1 and R2 up here. They have 3, but there's a lot of functionality with this thing, and it's really interesting, and I can't wait to get it outside. So that's the remote. Next up is the actual drone itself. So in the first video, I made the mistake of calling this thing a toy. So when you read the books, they repeat it's not a toy. Can we call it a grown-up toy then? Because I'm a grown-up and I want to play with my toy here. So what we got here is I actually was going through the parts list and I was familiarizing myself with the various things on here. When you watch the original video of the unboxing, I ran into an issue on putting on the propellers, so it was a little awkward at first. So what I found out is they are actually specific to one turns clockwise, one turns counterclockwise. So you just have to line those up with which one you're plugging in. When you plug it in, you press down and you twist, and then it comes off just like that. So the way you can tell is which way do these little fingers here do, which way do they turn. So inside of the drone, as you click it in, it twists and it locks into place. Really easy. Just made me a little nervous at first. So when you have the drone, you fold out, you fold out, you fold down, you fold down, and then here we go. This thing is a little monster. So another thing that made me nervous when I was first playing with it was taking out the battery. It's a little stiff at first, the initial pull out, but once you get the hang of it, it's good. The other one is actually charging the battery. It's kind of oddly shaped in that when you plug in the box charger, the one that comes out of the box, it fits in like this, but you kind of have to pull it off at an angle to get it off of there. So it was a little awkward at first. I'm getting afraid of breaking things. So there it snaps in. So what's really cool about this is they give you a little battery light indicator here, tell you how much battery power you have. So I wanted to make it so it's not just full so you can actually see the effect, but when it flashes like this, it means it's going, basically down 1 bar. Now, Once you get it out of the box, you have it fully charged. First thing you want to do is throw it right onto a charger, because you need to have them fully charged in order to do the software updates. This new software came out a couple days ago, so that was one of the issues I ran into. I thought this thing had enough battery power in order to get through the update. Halfway through it failed, and I had to start over and charge it for about an hour and a half. Took a while. Was not fun. Once I got it installed, I actually first used it on my PC to do the initial update of the software. I was having an issue getting my remote to register on my PC, which was very interesting. It just didn't recognize it as a USB device at all. Like, it just didn't see it was there. But this, once you turn it on, it picks it up right away. One of the issues that I ran into, which is unfortunate, and I'm probably going to do another video when I rant about it, I bought a broken one. So when you turn it on, let's turn it on real quick. As you can see here, as it cycles through with the camera, what's called the gimbal, or the little arm that holds the camera, you hear this hard clicking sound. Well, unfortunately, it's broken. I was on tech support last night for about an hour. I had them troubleshoot it. My takeaway was it's the equivalent of the red ring of death for the Xbox 360. I have to send it back. The problem I had with that, though, was I purchased the DJI Care Refresh Service Package, which means, I'm going to turn this off now because it's starting to click again. Hear it? Which means if this thing, something happens, it flies away, I get 2 replacements in a given year. So I buy the insurance for a year, which is really nice, comforting feeling knowing this $1,000 adult toy, if it flies off or it crashes, I get 2 retries. So I get 3 lives. It's great. Problem is I have to return this to Best Buy. There it is. That clicking sound. So that clicking sound is the gimbal hitting against the hard plastic, and when it runs, it flies. I got a couple feet off the floor, but the camera is a little wonky in that it won't turn into the direction that I want it to. So that was the issue. So I have to return it back to Best Buy, and once I return it to Best Buy, I have to send DJI copies of the receipts for when I bought it and for when I returned it, so that way they refund me the $100 for the insurance for it. Horrible experience, probably another video about me ranting about. Their tech support is good. I like the tech support, but the customer service, when you have to call and ask questions, I was on hold earlier. It took me 3 attempts. I was at work, so the first attempt was on my lunch break. I was on hold for half an hour. It kept telling me there's 4 people in line ahead of me. Half hour for 4 people, it's a little ridiculous. The other 2 attempts was just throughout the day. I was hoping I could just sneak in because, like I said, it was on my lunch break, and I figured it's prime hours. Wrong. So when I tried again, at 4:55, because they close at 5 o'clock. They're out here in Los Angeles as well, in Carson. When I called at 4:55, I was end up being on hold for about 45 minutes. I finally got to talk to someone. Lo and behold, they told me they can't help me with anything. So big waste of my time. Probably spent about 2 hours on hold with these people today for nothing. But flip side, I'm still excited about the product. I really like it. I'm very pumped to get it out and flying. Like I said, unfortunately, I can't shoot any video with it. It flies, but I just can't shoot video right now because the wonky little gimbal. But yeah, that's the drone itself. A couple other things. This time I actually took notes. One of the issues I ran into, like I said, when I downloaded the software from my PC onto the drone itself, once I had that done, I was able to sync it with the remote here. It made me download the software again. So it was the same firmware, same everything. I think it just updated on the remote, but it took about 15 minutes, which on the videos online, they say it was both devices. However, one thing I thought was kind of funny and rather ironic is when you go through your quick user guide here, basically, don't worry, you only need the first, I'd say like 7 to 10 pages because then it goes in different languages. But the first order of business, watch the tutorial videos before they tell you to do basically how to fly. So in this little book, there's not too much information, which was kind of disappointing, but I just thought it was funny where they just refer to go online. So real quick, the other factor I wanted to go over, the other issue I wanted to go over, like I said, was make sure it's charged when you go through the update. I had to do it twice on my PC, and then on the second time when it finished, I had to do it again a third time with my phone, which was really inconvenient. So I ended up spending about 2 hours longer than I wanted to on that. But The other thing that I thought was funny though, and that was a little disconcerting, was that when I downloaded the software onto my computer, my antivirus for Windows security as well as Norton security, both of them freaked out the entire time, every step of the way for every single driver. So I thought that was funny. It was almost my computer warning me I probably shouldn't do what I'm doing, but I trust DJI, I hope. And then also what was funny was I placed an order for the insurance on their website online, and I have security monitoring from Visa, and that even triggered. So it might have something to do with it's a Chinese company, not an American company. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny and ironic. So if you guys run into that, or if you have some answers, please let me know. But that's it for the tutorial video here today. I'm gonna, like I said, familiarize myself with it further. Unfortunately, I got to make a trip to Best Buy to return it. But what I'm going to do is order a second one with the Pro, the package where you get the extra batteries and everything. So it's going to work out in my favor in the end anyways. It's just inconvenient, and I have to wait a couple more days to get this thing in the air. But I hopefully will have some good video to come soon. Hopefully get the weather to clear up and work in my favor. But I'm pumped. I'm not going to let the bad experience with the customer service side of DJI ruin the experience with the tech support and with the actual products. So like I said, this little thing, it's built like a tank, and I can't wait to get it in the sky, and I can't wait to make more videos for you. So please like, follow, subscribe, and tune in for the next video. Have a great day and a wonderful weekend. Take care.